Coach Phipps, we've got Cougars going to Albuquerque and Cougars going to Seattle. Let's talk a little bit about the Albuquerque meet, the Don Kirby Elite Open down in Albuquerque. Some pretty high profile competition for the Cougars down there.
It really is. Both those meets are probably the two biggest meets in the nation this weekend, and for their individual events. So more of a distance orientation at the UW meet, and then the sprints and jumps at the Albuquerque meet. So it's going to be an awesome opportunity for our kids to get competition against the very, very best in the nation.
How important at this point in the season, we're 2 weeks away from our conference indoor championships, how important at this point is it for your kids to see this high level of competition?
It's absolutely essential. It's a great test 2 weeks out, so that when you show up at Mountain Pacific, which is one of the best meets in the nation as well, that it's not the first time you've seen it. And even if you're a junior or you're a senior and you've been to NCAAs and everything like that, it's still a little bit removed. So having that only 2 weeks out is really important for them.
Let's talk about the facility itself. Down in Albuquerque, they throw this track up in the middle of the convention center, but they've hosted the national meet there before. What do you like about that track? What do the sprinters like about that track?
Well, I think a couple of things. It's a great banked track, which is great for the 200 and 400. The surface is fast, a little bit of altitude, which makes it a little bit easier, even though there is a small conversion. I think most people will tell you that they would gladly take the conversion and compete at altitude for those sprint events. So it's really a combination of a variety of things. And then on top of that, you add on fantastic competition, and it's a pretty good formula for running fast.
Does altitude help jumpers, long jumpers, triple jumpers?
And it actually, those are the events that it probably helps the most, in that there is no conversion. So, in the 60, they assume that, which is factual, that you're going to be a little bit faster at altitude, but they do no conversion in the long jump. So not only can you run faster and you fly through air, it's just a little bit easier. So it's a great opportunity for our jumpers to do well.
So you're taking your distance crew and some of your other competitors, throwers, over to Seattle. And let's talk about how important it is. This will be the third time a lot of your kids have competed, but this is the facility where the Mountain Pacific Championships will be. How important is it to be familiar with that track?
I think it's really familiar. The people that had not been on it before, after their first experience there, were a little bit thrown off. Just it's 307 meters. Not sure where the splits were. Not sure. With when it said 2 laps to go, and it sounds silly that they wouldn't know, but it really helps gaining some familiarity with the track, with the warm up, with everything. And like we talked about before, there is a progression in the level of competition every week at the Seattle meets, and this is the distance meet in the nation prior to Mountain Pacific and then to NCAAs.
So not only the northern Pac-12 schools, but those southern Pac-12 schools that really don't practice indoors, they just compete indoors at this point in the season. They're all showing up at this meet.
Yeah, it's every Pac-12 school distance-wise is going to be at this meet, and pretty much anybody who's really interested in qualifying in the 3K and 5K is going to be at this meet. It's fantastic competition, on top of some pros as well.
Is it important to run a tactical race when you know you have this level of competition in a long distance?
For us, it's going to be all about times. We're shooting either for an NCAA qualifying time or hitting personal bests, whether that's going to help them just from a personal standpoint, getting in a good heat at Mountain Pacific, or even helping them outdoors where they can get into some better competitions, when we start heading down to Stanford and to Mount Sac.
So what are you guys going to do next week? What meet will you be at?
Well, hopefully we won't be at any meet. The NCAA, the way it's worked now, is eliminated the last chance meets, but some of those schools that had hosted last chance meets have moved them the week before conference. I think we're in a pretty good situation where we're not going to need to rely on that weekend, and I'm hoping after this weekend we absolutely won't have to go anywhere, and we'll just stay at home, train, rest up, get back to some studying for school, and then be prepared for Mountain Pacific.
Well, good luck to the Cougars this weekend in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and in Seattle at the Husky Classic.
Thank you very much, and go Cougs.